Hello, sir. How you doing? Yeah, won't be a sec. Right, just had a really good, what, 3/4 of an hour? Chatting with subscribers at Pateley Bridge. So first and foremost, Mo, what an absolute pleasure to meet you and your good lady for the first time after our many exchanges in the comments section and your consistently supportive and positive comments, which I have hugely appreciated. Absolute pleasure to meet you, and I know you're staying in this neck of the woods for a bit, so hopefully I get to see you again at some point. And thanks for the offer of the meat pie. I'm sure we'll we'll get round to that at some point. But yeah, pleasure to meet and chat with you. It seems we have an awful lot in common. And got talking with Mo, talk about connections. As you know, I speak very highly of BSA Motorcycles just outside of Bradford, who look after my BSA Goldstar. Ian and Stephen, the gang there, brilliant local dealership. And they supplied two-wheeled Willie. Willie, if you're watching this, greetings. Do like your channel. I am subscribed to you. Do like your channel. Love your relaxed presentational style. It's addictive. So yeah, anyway, so two-wheel Willie is Scram that he rattle canned in them military colours. Hey, he bought that from BSA Motorcycles in Bradford. And Mo, who I've just been speaking to, has bought that Scram now off two-wheel Willie. Hey! And Mo has expressly given me permission to mention that. So I'm happy to do so. Should always make sure you get clearance on these things. But yeah, Mo, I know you're happy for me to mention it. So Mo has bought two-wheel Willie's Scram. It's a small world. So yeah, all the best to you and your good lady, sir. And also to Tim, who lives in Holland, who's visiting over here for a few weeks. Great to talk with you, Tim, on your immaculate Bonnie, on your immaculate Triumph Bonneville. 20 years old and absolutely split mint. A credit to you, my friend. And you're not like me, a son of Bradford. So I don't blame you for living in bloody Holland. Good on you. And Ray. Ray, I know you came up for a chat. And one or two other people, and sorry gents, I didn't get all your names. But thanks ever so much, because as I always say, the most rewarding part of doing this sort of thing is having subscribers come up and chat with you. I love it. Keeps me grounded, keeps me sane. keeps me level-headed and reminds me that out there in this big beautiful world there are views other than mine, and it's a good idea to listen to them. Aye. So, out in the wilds again. We're up on Bishop's Moor. For those of you that like to know the routes that I'm on. I mean, this is a regular of mine, obviously, but for a good reason, because I like it. And I'll just let you soak in a little bit of this countryside, and then I'm going to hopefully pull in at another favourite spot for contemplation of mine. Which will be just down in this dip here. Right, well, what a beautiful spot here, and this is one of a handful of the places that are pretty special to me, the places where I can come and contemplate and reflect and get away from the trouble and strife of everyday life, if you like. And there's no shortage of that, so we all need special places like this that we can use as bolt holes for a moment of calm and pause in life. And as I was just saying, I was talking to so many great people back there at Pateley Bridge who are subscribers, like what I do for whatever reason, and that absolutely keeps me going. I mean, my motivation absolutely is making content that people find enjoyable, that in some way or another, however small, add to the richness of individual lives, and that's all that we can ever hope to do. It's the by far the greatest strength of humankind, is to be able to bring about some sort of circumstances which in some way improve the lives of others, even if it's only a very, very small and very occasional way, like this channel. And at times like this, particularly when you've held conversations with your peer group, age-wise, who have more or less been brought up at the same time in the same area and witnessed the same changes, that you can reassure yourself that you're not going absolutely insane. And it's actually the world that's going insane, not you. So they are precious moments indeed. Yeah, keep you grounded. Stop you going mad. But we were doing a bit of reminiscing back there about how things were, particularly in Bradford. I mean, I was on my little day job in Bradford this morning, and I don't know, that city has just suffered many consecutive years of complete decline now. Complete lack of investment, lack of interest, lack of motivation, all ambition gone from the city, save for cosmetic tinkering around the edges. And you know what you can't polish, don't you? And I was there this morning on my little delivery job, and as usual, calling to Greg's on Bank Street in the city centre for my breakfast, my modest breakfast of a vegan roll and a flat white. And sure enough, right outside Greg's there, laid on the ground, in his own fluids, a rough sleeper. I mean, but for the rise and fall of the blankets, he could have been dead. And for all anybody cared, for that matter. And that's not the Bradford I remember. It had its issues back in the day. It wasn't the model city back in the early 80s when I was pounding the beat there, but it was immeasurably a better and more livable place than ever it is today. And it's just shambolic, and there should be a collective shame amongst all the authorities and powers that be down the decades for allowing this to happen to a once proud city. Yep, makes me weep. And I look back and I've got fond memories of being a child, visiting Bradford city centre with parents every Saturday, a ritual of shopping. And as a young man, enjoying the occasional scoop of beer, or 10, on a Friday and Saturday night, around some brilliant pubs. Boy and Barrel, the Duchess of Kent, the Metropole, Black Swan on Thornton Road, the Lord Clyde, the Smithy, the Jacob's Well, and many more. I have fond memories of that, and then as working the city, working my home city as a young cop back in 1983, when I began to witness the transformation from proud city to forgotten ghetto in the space of 2 decades, basically. Absolutely inexcusable. But there you go. And when you look back, I liken looking back over time, or rather liken time itself, as like a length of rope which is irregularly knotted. Because of course the arc of history is not one gradually evolving timeline, it's granular. As I've said before, it's punctuated. So as a metaphor, I like to think of looking back as looking along a length of irregularly knotted ropes, or rope, where the knots give meaning and significance to the spaces in between. So what I mean by that is the timeline's populated by significant events in your life, isn't it? A birth, a death, a marriage, a job, a redundancy, a first home. And they sort of give context to the otherwise, as recalled, fairly anodyne spaces in between the knots, but they help you to remember them. So in remembering those landmark moments in your life, you're reminded of the less dramatic ones in between. but looking right across what's happened with my home city, knots and gaps in between and all, what you can see for sure is a long steady decline. And Bradford isn't the only place, of course, but it's my hometown. I don't live in Bradford anymore. I've spent all my adult life in Bingley. I had to move out of Bradford because where I lived in Bradford was perhaps going downhill a bit quicker than the rest, and it was completely untenable for a serving police officer to live there, so I had to move out. But it's still my home city. Choose, you know, which way you look at it. It's my home city. It's where my fondest early memories reside, in and around that city. Aye, so, hey, I don't want to get too glum and melancholy, but these are places for reflection, and that's how I see it. But it's not just Bradford, obviously, but as I say, that's my home city, so it's particularly personal to me. But there are no shortage of places in this United Kingdom of ours that have been allowed to deteriorate into something that barely resembles the proud days of the 60s, 70s and I suppose early 1980s, before the rot set in, before the greed set in. Anyway, one thing which is constant is a place like this, and so there are always places like this to come and be able to reflect on the past. And I can't see this place ever changing. I'll bet it hasn't changed for hundreds of years. Even the bridge that I'm looking at now is probably hundreds of years old. Certainly the landscape itself, thousands of years old. And that is constant. It's evanescent with the seasons, but it is, in terms of its topography and its meaning, just about eternal. What isn't, of course, guaranteed, is our ability always to be able to come to places like this and enjoy it. And I suppose there are two things really that could, or are most likely to stop you being able to enjoy something like this. One is the physical ability to get here, whether through illness or some other intervention, and the other is the intervention of others, if at some point in the future, by some means or other, we are not able to come to these beautiful spaces. And I hope that never happens, because unlike our cities, places like this don't deteriorate, don't go into decline, because nature's looking after them, not man. Aye, anyway, enough of that. Let's crack on. Ooh. that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click a like, and please, above all, if you're not already subscribed, I would really appreciate if you did. It makes a massive difference to me, and it doesn't cost you a single penny, not now, not ever. Just click that subscribe. And if you good people keep doing that for me, I can keep doing this for you. So with that, I'll wish you the safest of riding, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'll see thee. Ho ho!